Hi there and welcome to another video from Hegarty Maths. It's Mr. Hegarty here, and in this video we're talking about cube numbers. So to remind you, we've previously talked about square numbers, and I've asked you to learn the squares from 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared all the way up to 14 squared and 15 squared, and commit those to memory. Now I want you to learn something called the cube numbers, so let's introduce what they are. The cube numbers are the answers to 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1, 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2, 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3, 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4. They are the answer to a whole number multiplied by itself 3 times. Now, the reason they're called a cube number is that the answer to this, say here we've got 1, 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 is 8, 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 is 27, and 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4 is 64. The reason, let's say 27 is a cube, is that you can arrange 27 to make together to make a cube. So here's 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, right? You've got 3 lots of 3 blocks, so here's another lot of 3 blocks, here's another lot of 3 blocks, and then you've got 3 lots of that face. One face here, one face here, one face here. So it takes 27 of those to make up a cube. So hence they are called cube numbers. Just like square numbers could make a square, cube numbers can actually make a cube. So 64 little blocks can make a 4 by 4 by 4 cube. Right, that's what they are. Let's show you a list of the ones I want you to learn. It's a little bit less than the square numbers, but I want you to learn 1 cube, 2 cube, 3 cube, 4 cube, 5 cube, 6 cube, 7 cube, 8 cube, 9 cube, 10 cube, i.e. something like 5 cube, which is 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5 is 125. Now just to point out, something like 5 cubed, that was index notation or power form, and it means 5 multiplied by itself 3 times. But we're going to see that a lot in the index form videos that come later. Now, these here just need to be committed to memory. There is a little helpful trick to maybe help you a tiny little bit along the way. 1 cubed, when you do 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1, it ends in 1. 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4 ends in 4. 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5 ends in 5. 6 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 6 ends in 6. And 9 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 9 ends in 9. Now, 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 ends in 8. And 8 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 8 ends in 2. So there's a little link between those two. 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 ends in 7. But 7 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 7 actually ends in 3. And that might be a little useful trick for you to at least know the last digit of those numbers. I would expect you to know 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10 is 1000, just because you're good at multiplying by powers of 10. So try your very hardest to learn these cubes here. 1, 8, 27, 64, 125, 216, 343, 512, 729 and 1000. Right, now I've introduced what they are, I've told you which ones I need you to know, let's do some questions. Write down the first cube. The first cubed is the answer to 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1, which is 1. The third cubed is the answer to 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. The fifth cube is 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5. 5 multiplied by 5 is 25, times another 5 is 125. I showed you those ways of working them out in your head in case you still haven't committed these to memory. Evaluate the sum of the sixth square and the fourth cube. Well, the sixth square is the answer to 6 multiplied by 6, which is 36. The fourth cubed is the answer to 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4, which is equal to 64. And sum means add them up. So if I add those two things up, I'm going to get 100, aren't I? Now difference here means subtract. Now we want to subtract the 15th square and the third cube. The 15th square is 15 times 15, which is 225. We want to subtract the third cubed, which is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. We would get ourselves the answer 198. Okay, pause the video and try this. Use two of the numbers above to make a square number. Well, if you know your squares and you had to use two of them, I'd use 2 and 5 to make 25, which I know is square. Use two of the numbers above to make a cube number. I'd use 2 and 7 to make 27, which is 3 times 3 times 3. And then it says use 3 of the numbers above to make a larger cube. Right, so I'd look at that and I'd say to myself, right, I'm going to take 1 and 2 and 5 and get me 125, because 125 is 5 times 5 times 5, it's my 5th cube. Right, let's try another question. Here, all I want you to do is spot a pattern. Now, 1 cubed, which means 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, let's say. 5 cubed means 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. Now, let's look what happens when we cube negative numbers. Negative 1 cubed, right, means negative 1 multiplied by negative 1 multiplied by negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1, times negative 1, a positive multiplied by negative, gives you negative 1. Negative 5 cubed means negative 5 multiplied by negative 5, which is positive 25, multiplied by another negative 5 would be negative 125. So what am I trying to get you to spot here? Well, what I'm trying to get you to spot is that when you cube a negative number, you get a negative answer, because a negative multiplied by negative is always negative. Alright, so that was just slightly different to our squares. I'm pointing that out to you because when we squared a negative number, we always got a positive answer, because a negative multiplied by a negative is positive. But in this case, because we've got 3 negatives multiplying, we always get a negative answer. So I just want you to bear that in mind for the last little exercise I'm going to ask of you. Now, given each number in the square must be the same for each part, fill in the missing numbers. Right, we are looking for a number to go here so that the same number multiplied by the same number multiplied by the same number is 8. Hopefully you realised it was 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. Could it be negative 2? No, because negative 2 multiplied by negative 2 multiplied by negative 2 would give me negative 8. So we don't have to worry, there's only one answer for 8. Now, what about some number multiplied by some number is 4? Well, hopefully you remember from the square numbers videos, that could be 2 multiplied by 2, but it also could be, hopefully you remember, negative 2 multiplied by negative 2. There are 2 sets of answers for this one. Now, what same number multiplies by itself 3 times to get negative 27? Well, what number multiplies by itself 3 times to get positive 27? 3. So it must be negative 3 that will do the job for us to get us negative 27, okay? Because a negative times negative times negative is a negative. And what number should go here to make up 225? Well, hopefully you remember it's either 15, because 15 multiplied by 15 is 225, but it also could be negative 15, because a negative multiplied by a negative gives me a positive. And that's it for this video, everything you need on cube numbers. Thanks for watching.